Hi, everybody. This is Caroline Sotheby, and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. All right, they say we're going to get some more snow, but right now we're comfortable. But there are things happening in the city, and even though it's February, we're going to find out more about where they are and what they are. With me today is our Councilwoman, Kelly Steck, but I gave her another title on the bottom for kicks, and I hope she doesn't mind. It all turned out to come from about 6-8 months ago when you, of course, you're a council person, you were aware of what the groups were doing. Maybe you'd like to explain that part, and we get to the end part.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
We'll start at the beginning. They say it's
Yep.
a good place to start. So when I first got elected, something that mattered very deeply to me was being able to support our local clubs and nonprofits. It goes without saying that I support Wyandotte businesses, but what I noticed was that COVID hit our clubs particularly hard, right? You can't pivot a social organization, a fraternal organization to takeout or any of those things. It's harder to ask volunteer bartenders to come in and serve when there was so much going on in the world. And so they were hit really hard in the last year. So when I got elected, I wanted to make sure I was doing the most that I could to support them. And somewhere that I saw a need was in coordinating all of our calendars and making sure everybody had the information for what was going on, and hopefully having a few less events that happened on the same day at the same time.
Yeah.
So at that first meeting, when several of us got to sit down together, we talked about the number of chili cook-offs that were coming up, and we sort of started saying as a joke, maybe there should be a citywide chili cook-off competition, and here we are. This citywide chili cook-off competition is going to be Sunday, February 27th, 3 p.m. at PRCU, that's 1430 Oak Street. It's going to feature the winners from several clubs, including the American Legion, VFW, FOP, PRCU, the Wyandotte Boat Club, and there will be also representatives from the police and fire departments. Sorry to any clubs if I missed you, but all this to say it's a large multi-group effort that is meant to unite all of us, bring us together over some good food and good fun, and hopefully make some money for the nonprofits along the way.
Okay. It seems strange because when we first learned about it, I was with the 217 group. We had our own. And before that, KFC had theirs. And so I talked to them and found out, then all of a sudden, wow, they're all having it. Most of them had November and December.
Yeah. So the latest one actually happened at PRCU just a couple weekends ago. And thank you for mentioning Knights of Columbus. I knew I was missing somebody, and it turns out that's who it was.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, every individual club will be sending their top 2 competitors, whether that is first and second place that they had decided by judges or via a vote of people's choice. So 2 people from every club, and then, like I said, police and fire are going to be battling head to head to see who comes out the city chili cook-off champion.
All right, so these people that are sitting there right now say, hey, how do we participate? What can we do?
Sure. You can come to PRCU, 1430 Oak Street, Sunday, February 27th at 3 p.m. There is a $5 spoon charge. Once you have that spoon in hand, you'll be able to taste as many of the competition chilies as you can. It will be first come, first serve, so we suggest the public come right at 3 if they want to be able to taste everything. And then once you buy in, you'll be given a ticket so you can vote for the city's People's Choice winner as well.
Okay. Now, are you going to have judges beside them, or, yeah?
Yes, there will also be a judging panel. Some of those folks are still up in the air, but I do know that our chief of police, Brian Zaleski, our assistant fire chief, Tom Lyon, city councilman Todd Hanna will be judging this competition. And they keep telling me I'm going to be a judge, but we'll see about that.
Hey, you had to do all the preliminary work anyway. We know one thing, though, for our individual. I mean, you had a crock pot, and you had quite a few participants, maybe 10, 15, depending on what group you're from. Now that it's going to be at PRCU, and you're not quite sure how many people are going to come, we were told a bigger one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're asking contestants to make 2 gallons worth of chili, 2 crock pots worth of chili. And we made that calculation just based on early response rates to the event that we've been putting out on social media. So again, if you do plan to attend, please check out the social media posts and invitations about that. It can be found on PRCU's Facebook, and it's been shared across many of the other clubs as well. It just helps us get a better head count, and if we need to tell people to make more chili, we want to give them enough time to prepare for that.
Well, like you said, come early, because you never know
Exactly.
what the crowd's going to be like, and if you're going to land up not having enough chili. By that point, it's like, okay, sorry.
Well, luckily, PRCU, who is the host club for this year, is also providing us some other food options. So if you
Okay.
miss out, or if you're not yet comfortable eating indoors, we do know that COVID is still going on. It's still a concern for many people. We will have carryout options available. There will likely be some non-competition chili, and then
really?
Coney dogs or a couple other food options as well.
Okay, well, that's different. First of all, PRCU has been there for many years. I've been involved in it for, well, not so much lately, but yeah, I can remember when we used to have floats for the parades and everything, and you went to basketball, you went to baseball, you went to all these tournaments. So I don't know if they're really doing that yet. I know there's a lot of concern with dancing, and they're active with that group, so that helps out. So
Yes, yeah. So PRCU is still having dance and gymnastics for young people, and then we did have our bowling competition just a couple months ago. So it's good to
Okay.
see the spirit of interclub competition is alive and well.
okay, now that you've had the groups coming in and do this talk, do you plan on something else besides chili contests?
Well, I don't want to speak beyond what I'm supposed to be saying, but what I will say is that I'm really thrilled by the buy-in that all of these clubs have had so far. We are still new, we are still growing. We are hoping to establish an umbrella organization that would be Wyandotte Nonprofits United. The idea is we pool our resources, we pool our volunteers, we pool all the people who care so deeply about many of the same topics, and we leverage that to be able to do bigger projects that span further across the city.
Okay.
So this will be the first year of this chili competition, but even just seeing what the clubs were able to come up with as far as raffle prizes, we've got a pretty big TV, we've got a 6-burner grill. There's going to be lots of great stuff at this, and I think it bodes well for the future of our clubs collaborating together.
Well, when you think about it, your churches probably have their little organizations. They might want to come in because they have a lot to offer too. So what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Please send me an email, kstec@wine.mi.gov. I check my email very diligently. I would love nothing more than to see this organization and these groups grow. Please reach out. I'll invite you to our next calendar sharing meeting. And honestly, if you had a chili cook-off and you've got a winner handy who's available on the 27th, give us a call. The more competitors, the merrier.
Okay, we might compete with the police and the fire. Yeah, I don't know about the fire department though. They probably have their own menu for how many years and see. Okay, but Todd's going to be okay judge, and we're going to have to get the rest of the council people out there.
I know.
Oh, thinking about that, of course, something came up recently, as I had mentioned to you before. I was away for the weekend, but I came back in town on Saturday and went halfway down the block to play cards. And Joanne hands me the letter and she says, "Read this. What does it mean?" And I read it. And of course, it's like, I'm not quite sure. And finally, it had something to do with Tifa and a council meeting on the 28th and all this stuff. So I said, I don't know, I'll find out. Then Monday, somebody put the copy of that letter in comments, all the way up and down. And I'm thinking, they're worried that, there's going to be an increase in taxes and this, and somebody's saying the north end's going to be included, and nobody knows anything about it, right? Until finally I saw something on our Channel 16, question and answer, and apparently the best person to find out more information on why that letter was sent would be Joe Gruber, right? And Amy just got through telling us that they are going to have Inside Wyandotte, and apparently Joe and our mayor and Julie, or is Julie just furnishing the information? So
I think she's getting everybody the information.
yeah. So at least if you're concerned about it and you're saying, what's this all about? Be patient. The information should be coming out, and don't panic. We're not having a tax increase, not that we know about it, right?
It'd be news to me.
So all right. So at least we can tell you that. Just be calm, get more information. The only thing I can say, if you like to get more information about the short history of Tifa and DDA, go to our internet. Charlie Mix put a beautiful setup from the time that it started in 86, and 87 is when the DDA and the Tifa actually came to be with the financing and this. So just don't get panicky. And if you want to go to the meeting, they have it scheduled for the 28th. But if you watch the channel, you don't have to go. It's not mandatory that you have. So it's your choice. Just get some information before the 28th and decide what you really want to do. Is that okay without getting anybody in trouble?
I think that sounds great. If you have any questions, please reach out to Joe Gruber. He's going to have the most up-to-date information on that. And then if you have questions, comments, concerns, join us at the council meeting on the 28th, and we'd be happy to talk it through with you.
Okay, all right. So that takes care of that portion. Okay, for some people that really would like to know, who's Kelly? Who's Kelly Steck? What do you like? What got you to actually go to be elected or a council person?
This is a surprise question.
I know, I'm sorry.
But the simple fact of the matter is that I love this city. I have loved it since I was a young girl. I am very blessed and very grateful to have my family be who they are, to have had my dad as a model of what true public service is my entire life. Mm-hmm. I found myself when I was 18 very ready to leave for college. I did the thing that many young people do where I said, I'll never come back. And about 1 year later, I realized that most cities don't have a built-in sense of community the way that Wyandotte does. There are many, many places in this state and in this country that I've had the great fortune to travel to, and in none of them do I see the spirit and the care for each other that I saw in Wyandotte. And I realized if I was going to spend my time working to make the world a better place, that I ought to start in my own backyard. So I moved back here. I bought a house in 2019. I was very fortunate to be able to do that. And then I was out for a walk, and Todd Browning actually stopped me and said, you know, I really think you ought to consider running for city council. So thank you, Todd, for that piece of advice. I can't say enough that I wouldn't have done this if it weren't for people in the community who believed in me and believed in my voice, and most of all, hopefully understood that I'm here to listen to them and I'm here to help in any way that I can. So
okay, and you started that, so which helps out. I think it's going into a nice vein right now. How many groups are there in this united group right now? About 7?
There's
6?
about 8 when you include the service clubs. So the Lions have been represented at a recent meeting, as well as the Kiwanis and the JCs. So they don't have brick and mortar buildings, but they are part of this larger Wyandotte nonprofit community, and it's been great to see us all starting to work together.
Okay. So like we said, if anybody wants to get more information or like to join, get in touch with you.
Please.
Or when's your next meeting?
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
You know, we're going to
After
be
this
meeting
chili
after
thing
the
first.
chili cook-off when it
Yeah.
wraps up. And then it's looking like our next meeting for calendar planning purposes will be early May, so we can plan out the summer events. So
Okay.
if you're in touch anytime between here and there, I'll happily get your information. And if you're having any events, put them on our shared calendar now, and then you can join us at the next meeting in early
Well, that's
summer.
good. Yeah, because you've been working hard. I should say you plus the rest of them, because even like Brian Martin from 1136, and I think Mark even from our 217, they
Yes.
occasionally get in. They're always busy with their own, so it's nice that they can take the time and sit down and talk to one another. And at the same time, it's great because the camaraderie is over there. And like you said, you're sharing the information. You're going to have this, okay, I'll see you. You're going to come to mine, and that's what's better.
Absolutely. We all do better when we all do better. And again, I can't thank the club leadership enough for seeing that among all of the things that pull their time and attention, that they chose to be invested in this and to start working together to build each other up.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll have to go on the 27th and find out which chili we like. Barb says, I don't like hot, spicy one. So she said she is figuring a fire department would probably have the most chili. But you'll have to go and find
We'll
out.
see. You have to come and find out.
Yeah. Hey, I saw something on Facebook yesterday, real fast, and I know Wyandotte doesn't have the third Friday, so to speak, like we had for years and years, but there's something about a third Friday art crawl, and it involves the Up and Down place, Cheryl Zemke's Boutique Place, Downriver Council for the Arts, and that, I think even the Up and Down wants to have a juried artists exhibit. So those are things I haven't had a chance to get. Maybe you can talk about it. But just want to make sure the art fair or draw crawl, woohoo, is going to be this Friday. It's the third Friday already of February.
It's the third Friday already.
Yeah. I missed those other ones though, but you know, COVID played a bad part on a lot of situations in town.
It really did. But I do think it gave everybody a chance to reflect on what they missed and what they love about this city. And so I'm really hopeful that these third Fridays and all of the downtown events can come back stronger than ever after this.
Okay. I happened to mention to the crew over here last Thursday, I went to breakfast at Nana's with my granddaughter and her crew from the 6th floor at Henry Ford. And it was interesting to find out there were 3 individuals that are considered military nurses that they actually work, there's the crew there. The 2 here on the side are military nurses, and those are from the Wyandotte. And of course, this one gentleman, Garcia, they came from Texas, and they're based in Texas. That one gal is actually calls Maryland her home. The other girl was born in Alberta, Canada, and is now a United States citizen. And can you imagine, you're like in an army, you're going any place else that they need you. And that's got to be kind of rough. Like Garcia now told me he was in Afghanistan for 3 months, and he'd get up, go to work at 5 in the morning, and maybe get back home at midnight. And he said that was a rough one. So this was sort of calm. And of course, he says he's used to driving fast. And I said, you can't drive fast in the snow here or 4th Street in Lincoln Park area because you're going to get slowed down. So they have a couple more days left to go and then be heading back down to Texas again. So I think we have to thank the service. I don't know exactly who pays for them, but they came down and helped out. And hey, Wyandotte was included in that. So
Yeah.
thank you, whoever. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for giving up the time, for being willing to come to a state that's unfamiliar to you, a city that's
Yeah.
unfamiliar to you, all in the name of helping out and keeping people safe and healthy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having
We'll
me.
try to get them there on Sunday the 27th at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to have the jury doing it, plus the people that were tasting having it. It's $5 to come in and get the spoon. And
If
a
you
little
lose your
sample-
spoon, though, it's another $5. It is a $5 spoon fee.
Darn it, I'd probably be. Hey, thanks, Gail.
Thank
thanks
you.
for coming. If you want to come some other time when you update us on what else is taking place, feel free, okay?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Up, Down, and Around Town. Bye-bye now.